Yeah, so in the last lecture, we have studied about the transition curves. Okay, the horizontal alignment, how the circular curves are set out in the field, how the super elevation is designed, the cant efficiency, cant excess, all these things, and how the clearances and certain widening on the tracks takes place. Okay, so now in this lecture we'll be studying about the vertical curves, which are summit curves and valley curves. Okay. So in the highway engineering also you have studied about the vertical curves, which are basically what the valley curves and the sag curve. There are two different kind of vertical curves. That is the valley curves and what, which are also known as sag curves, and the other one is the summit curve. Okay. So whenever the convexity of the curve will be in the upward direction, it will be known as the summit curve, and whenever the convexity will be downwards, it will be known as what, the sag curve or valley curve. Okay. So these curves basically provide vertical plane at the location where two gradients are joining each other. Okay. Now in railways engineering, how these vertical curves are helpful, they basically serve three purpose. First one is smoothing of the kinks which are formed at the junction of two gradients. Then they eliminate the rough run on the track, and thirdly they provide a more comfortable movement of trains. Okay. Now these vertical curves are always provided whenever the algebraic difference between the grades is more than 0.4%. Only in this particular case, whenever the algebraic difference between the grades is more than 4.4%, then only vertical curves are provided. Otherwise no vertical curves are provided. Okay. So in unlike the highway engineering, in railways, while providing the vertical curves, there are certain problems which we face while meeting of the while the two gradients meet. Okay. So what are these problems? The first one is formation of an angle. Okay. Angular formation, that means kinks are formed in the railway track, that we have to remove. Then there is a comparatively rough run of the vehicles on the track. Whenever the gradient is changing, obviously what will happen, you have studied the defects, this thing, the motions which particular wagons undergo, that is the pitching effect, the rolling effect, the resonance. Okay. All these effects are the effects of motion which are considered by the wagon. Okay. Then bunching of the vehicles is there in sags. What do you mean by bunching of the vehicles? Whenever there is a sag curve, okay, so the preceding train has to be, it has to be made sure that the preceding train should completely pass the entire sag curve, then only the this thing succeeding train will be allowed to pass through that particular sag curve. ठीक है, जब तक आगे वाली ट्रेन पूरा कर्व क्रॉस नहीं कर जाएगी, ठीक है, जब तक पूरा सैग कर्व क्रॉस करके और क्लाइम करके अगले ग्रेडियंट पे नहीं पहुंच जाएगी, तब तक हम दूसरे जो फॉलोइंग ट्रेन है उसको हम लोग प्रोसीड नहीं कराते हैं. तो ये करवाने के लिए क्या होता है, अब ट्रेन के बीच में अगर गैप कम है तो व्हाट विल हैपन, बंचिंग विल हैपन. बंचिंग मीन्स you have to halt the trains after one another. Then variation in the tension of couplings at the summits. uh, for example, what is the meaning of this? See, all of you have seen that the coaches or the wagons of the trains are attached with the help of coupling. ठीक है, तो वो कपलिंग में क्या होता है, जब भी ट्रेन हमारी एक किसी भी समिट कर्व पे से पास हो रही है, दैट मीन्स टॉप एपेक्स पॉइंट पे है, किसी भी समिट कर्व के एकदम टॉप पॉइंट पे है, तो व्हाट विल हैपन, जो आगे वाला ट्रेन का जो फर्स्ट हाफ है, दैट विल बी exposed to a different kind of force, and the second half of the train will be exposed to a tensile force in the opposite direction. So this will create what, this will create the tension in the couplings of the train at the summit point. Okay. जस्ट कंसिडर इट दिस वे, अगर ये तुम्हारा समिट कर्व है, ठीक है, इस पे तुम्हारी ट्रेन पास कर रही है, दिस इज योर ट्रेन पासिंग ऑन दैट. सो व्हाट विल हैपन एट दिस पर्टिकुलर पॉइंट, यहाँ पर जो कपलिंग होगी तुम्हारी, होगा क्या कि इधर वाला जो ट्रेन का हिस्सा है, इट विल, the self weight and the motion will be, if it is moving in this direction, it will try to pull the train in this direction, but the self weight of the trailing train will do what, it will exert a tensile force in this particular direction. तो इसका फोर्स का इम्पैक्ट कहाँ पे होगा? कपलिंग पे. कौन सी कपलिंग? जो समिट पॉइंट पे तुम्हारी कपलिंग होगी. So that coupling, this tension in the coupling, it results in the train parting, and also if not train parting, then uncomfortable ride will be there. Okay. So as we discussed, vertical curves are of two types: summit curves and valley curve. See, this is an example of summit curves, the orientation of the summit curves, how they are there. Now, just like the highway engineering, here also there is a deviation angle which governs the severity of the summit curve. Okay, and also the valley curves. How do we calculate the deviation angle? Deviation angle is the difference in the gradients with their sign. In order to calculate, अगर न्यूमेरिकली बात करें तो विद साइन, और अगर एनालिटिकली बात करें तो द डिफरेंस इन द relative difference in the gradients, which is succeeding gradient and preceding gradient. ठीक है. ओके, फॉर एग्जांपल सेकेंड वाले के केस में देखो, इसमें जो ये वाला डायग्राम है, इस केस में व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, this is your descending gradient, this is your ascending gradient. So descending gradient का जो gradient होगा वो क्या होगा? नेगेटिव. तो if this is having n1 gradient, तो minus n1 minus this gradient is what? Positive. Okay, so minus, let's say n2, so minus n1 minus n2, this is the deviation angle for this particular curve. Okay, so this is how you go for the calculation of deviation angle, and based on that deviation angle you will find out the severity and certain design parameters. Okay, now in railways there are certain specific problems in case of summit and valley curves both. In case of summit curve, what happens when the train passes over it? It experiences an acceleration in the upward direction, making the train to move faster. Okay, at the same time, a variation is there in the tension in the couplings, which may cause the train to part. Okay, and in case of valley curve, what happened? The position of the train, okay, the position of the train with half on upgrade and other half of downgrade, it compresses the couplings and buffers. तो जो समिट कर्व के केस में इफेक्ट हो रहा था, उसका जस्ट अपोजिट इफेक्ट होगा किसमें? वैली कर्व के केस में. यहाँ पे हमारे कपलिंग्स पे टेंशन डेवलप नहीं होगा, कपलिंग्स पे कंप्रेशन डेवलप होगा. ठीक है, जो कंप्रेशन कपलिंग्स और बफर्स हैं उन पे आपका कंप्रेशन फोर्स डेवलप होगा. एंड वंस इट क्रॉसेस द सैग, इट अगेन एक्सपीरियंसेस टेंशन इन द कपलिंग. Okay, therefore these attachment or fixation of the couplings and the this thing stability of this couplings is very important. Okay, so when it comes to design of the vertical curves, the typical type of curve which is set out is parabolic curve. Okay, so normally a vertical curve is designed as a circular curve, but it ensures that, why it is designed as circular curve? Because it ensures that the uniform rate of change of gradient is there. Okay, and this uniform change of rate of change of gradient, it controls the rational acceleration, rotational acceleration. Okay, that means the train, whenever it will be passing through the vertical curve, it will neither tend to overturn nor it will derail. Okay, we have to make sure that no derailment and no overturning should take place. Okay, then comes the length of vertical curve. The length of the vertical curve depends upon the algebraic difference in the grades and the types. Okay, for example, the rate of change, if it is denoted by r in the gradient, it is restricted as the following. That is, the r should not exceed 0.1% per 30.5 meter chord for summit curve, and it should not exceed 0.05% per 30.5 meter chord for sag curve. Okay, this is basically, what is this 30.5 meter chord? This is a standard length of the chord which is considered for what? For the design purpose, for the design of transition curves and setting out of curves, vertical curves in the field. Okay, so we always consider this as standard length of the chord, that is 30.5 meter, for designing the curve. Whatever the shift, even the shift calculated is, or versine of the curve is calculated based on this particular chord length. Okay, so the length of the curve required will be given as L is equal to Gi minus Gj into 30.5 divided by R, where Gi and Gj are what? The successive percentage in grades. Okay, successive percentage of grades, and R is what? The rate of change of grade. Okay, so in that regard, there are existing provisions according to it. The minimum radius of vertical curve for a route A. Route A means the broad gauge routes, which are the most frequent one on which the fast moving trains are run. So these routes, the route A is provided with 4,000 meters of radius of vertical curve, and 3,000 meter radius of vertical curve is provided for route B. Similarly, for route D, C, D, and E, 2,500 meters or 2,500 meters route is the radius is provided. So this was the old method. Now, as per the new method, the length of vertical curve is calculated by the following formula. That is, L is equal to R into GI minus GJ upon 100. Over here, again, the GI minus GJ is the difference in percentage of the gradients. Okay, and this GI minus GJ is always expressed in terms of what? Radians. Okay, see, while calculating this GI and GJ, you should always keep in mind the signs of the this thing, the curve or the gradient. Okay, like जब deviation angle calculate करते हैं तो along with the signs we consider the gradient. So यहाँ पर भी अगर ascending gradient है तो it will be positive, अगर descending है तो it will be negative. Similarly, when the difference is positive, GI minus GJ, it means a summit curve is formed, and when the difference is negative, that means a sag curve is formed. Okay, see, so here is an example of summit curve gradient. Okay, the gradient is 1 in 100, this is upgrade, and 1 in 200, this is downgrade. So a broad gauge route, type A route is provided. You have to find out the length of curve. So how you will find out? See, gradients in percentage, GI or GJ की value क्या हो गई? The first gradient is rising gradient plus 1%. The downgrade is downward descending gradient is minus 0.5%. So what is the change in gradient? Plus 1 minus minus 0.5, that is 1.5% positive. So positive gradient है तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ? Summit curve होगा. Now the rate of change of gradient for summit curve is how much? Taken as 0.1%. So length of summit curve will be how much it will be calculated? L is equal to change in gradient into 30.5 upon R. So what is this comes out? It comes out to be 457.5 meters. And as per the new method, what is as per the new method? As per the new method, the length of the curve will be what? Length of the curve will be R into the radius which is provided into the change in gradient small r upon 100. Okay, that is 60 meters. Okay, so there are two methods. All these two methods you have already studied in surveys in engineering. That is, what are the methods of setting out the curves in field? The tangent correction method and chord deflection method. So in railway engineering, while setting out the curves in the field, these two methods are used. But in these two also, the tangent correction method is considered simpler than the other method and is more convenient for the field staff. Therefore, we go for the use of tangent correction method in Indian Railways. Okay. So as per the tangent correction, how it is applied? First, we compute the length of vertical curve. Then we work out the chainage and reduced level of the RLs of the tangent points and apex. And then finally, these tangent corrections are applied. Okay. See, here is a diagrammatic representation of how it is done. This point AB, this line OA. Sorry. Okay. So this OA is your what? It is a it denotes the all the correction. So all these CC dash, DD dash, EE dash, all these are what? These are the corrections which are plotted, and these corrections are determined algebraically by adding the tangent corrections on tangent OA. Okay. So here is again the computation formulas for this. Okay. So it's a very simple method. Calculate RL, then just you have to impose the tangent correction. Okay. So I have given this one numerical for assignment. Okay. You all have to solve this particular numerical. Just consider it. Okay. It's very simple numerical. A rising gradient of 1 in 100 meets a falling gradient of 1 in 200 on a group A route. So type of route is given to you. Then what is given to you? Two gradients are given, ascending and descending. Both the gradients are given. The intersection point has changed. Chainage of the chainage is 1,000 meters, and RL is also given to you. So what you have to do, you have to just calculate the length of vertical curves and RL and the chainage of various points. So here the tangent correction method will be implied very easily. First, RL is already given to you. Find out all the reduced comparative reduced level, and then algebraically compute the correction, tangent correction, and just impose all the tangent corrections on that. Okay. Then comes your gradient. These gradients are provided to negotiate the rise or fall which is taking place in the level of the railway track. Okay. So a gradient is represented by the distance traveled for a rise or fall of one specific unit. It is always denoted as what? Always denoted as 1 in n or 1 in x in some books. Or you can go for percentage also. Now, what is the objective of providing these gradients? The very first objective is to reach various stations at different elevation. The second one is to follow the natural contours of the ground to the extent possible and to reduce the cost of earthwork. See, if you will, instead of going with the natural contours of the ground, if you will try to alter those topographical variation, then what will happen? It will obviously incur a large amount of cost of construction. Okay. Plus, it won't be that much feasible. It won't be even feasible at some places. So we have to go with the all you can do is you can alter up to some extent. That is, you can if there is a certain steep gradient, then what you can do, you can convert it into mild gradient. Or there are certain two gradients are meeting at a very sharp level, you can modify that particular thing, but you cannot alter it completely. So these gradients, there are four types of gradients: ruling gradient, pusher or helper gradient, momentum gradient, and the gradient which is used in station yards. The very first one is known as ruling gradients, which is also called design gradient. Okay, so every designer consider this ruling gradient while designing any particular, uh, you know, what you say, any particular design parameter. Okay, so it is determined by the maximum load that a locomotive can haul with maximum permissible speed. That gives you ruling gradient. The formula for this is W sine theta. Okay, what is the sub W sine theta? This is the extra pull required by locomotive on the gradient with theta inclination. Okay, so the nominal values for ruling gradient with one locomotive, for plain area it ranges from 1 in 150 to 1 in 250, and in hilly areas it ranges from 1 in 100 to 1 in 150. Okay, the next one is momentum gradient. This momentum gradient is comparatively steeper than the rolling gradient. This is the kind of gradient where you will be requiring additional kinetic energy which is received during the run on a section. So this particular gradient doesn't require any additional locomotive, but definitely it will be requiring the additional kinetic energy which is received during a run on a section. So in order to overcome this particular the resistance offered by this gradient, momentum gradient, we will have a run in plane or falling gradient in valleys. Okay. Next one is pusher gradient. Now this pusher or helper gradient, this is the gradient where you will be requiring an extra locomotive to what? To cross the resistance or to overcome the resistance offered by the gradient. Okay. This requirement of extra locomotive is reduces the length of a railway section. It also reduces the overall cost. Okay. For example, Darjeeling railway station or any other, hilly area railway station, that will be requiring an additional locomotive. Then comes your gradient in station yard. Okay. gradient, when we talk about the gradient in station yard, there are two certain things. Okay, in yards we actually ensure that the movement should happen under gravity. Okay, in that way we will be saving resources and saving the effort which has to be done, which has to be made by the locomotive. So first we have to ensure that the movement under gravity should be taking place. For that you have to provide a desirable maximum and minimum gradient. Okay, then you have to consider the minimum gradient from drainage point of view also. And thirdly, you have to ensure the third thing, that is, apart from providing this gravitational thing, the gradient for the movement under gravity and for drainage, you should always ensure that the standing vehicle should be prevented from rolling and moving away. The gradient should be in such a way that the standing vehicle should not be at motion at all by itself. Okay, so this is which can happen due to the combined effect of gravity and strong wind. So these are the kinds of four kinds of gradients which are provided. Now, just like highways, also in railways, also we will provide grade compensation on curves. These grade compensation of curves are provided in order to decrease the severity of the curve. Now, these grade compensation, in railways for broad gauge, it is calculated as the lesser of 70 by r, or 0.04% per degree of curve for broad gauge condition. Okay, and this gradient of a curved section has to be flatter than the ruling gradient because of curve resistance. Okay, we'll see an example. For example, if 2-degree curve is there and a broad gauge track is there, ruling gradient is 1 in 200. So what could be the steepest gradient that could be provided? Now ruling gradient is how much? 1 in 200, that is 0.5%. Compensation for a 2-degree curve, which will be how much? 0.04 into degree of curve, that is 0.08. So this is what grade compensation. And what is the compensated gradient? 0.05 minus 0.08, that is how much? That is 0.42%, which is the steepest gradient. So the steepest gradient that you can provide over here is 1 in 238. Okay, so this was all about the vertical curves and gradients.